to talk about the idea, the concept of clearing cookies and clearing your cache. It's something you've probably, if you have JD and Carrie bingo, you've probably crossed that line out a billion times. So I wanted to kind of start by kind of explaining what that actually is doing, and then a couple of ways to actually clear the cookies. I found out a pretty cool way fairly recently that has really helped streamline my work and stuff. So on the whole, guys, what your cookies are doing when you've got cookies or a cache, C-A-C-H-E, what that's doing is when you go to a website, that site is storing a couple pieces of information so that the next time you go back, it can load faster. It's loading the settings you had last time so that it's in theory, a better experience. So when you think about how Zap used to work, if I went to I clicked on a listing and I saw Kelly Ewing as the listing agent, every time I went back, Kelly would be sticky to me so that I was always working with that agent. That's kind of what a cookie does, is it holds little information like that. Now, where cookies can come into, where they can be difficult is when there's new information on a site. So one of the easiest examples in our workflow or in our kind of realms is when you use like the CB Blue Book or the Luxury Magazine, any of those digital publications. Sometimes when we update them, you don't always see the updated version because it's going to, your browser, so Chrome, Safari, Explorer, hopefully not, are going to be loading the older version of it because that's what's stored in their system. So oftentimes what you'll see happen by myself or by Carrie or a lot of people is, hey, you said you updated this, but when I'm clicking on it, I'm seeing the old version. And when we say, well, try clearing your cookies, try clearing your cache, that's going to reset a couple of those settings so that you do see the newest version. It's not like this on every website. If I'm on Facebook and I change my profile picture and you go back to Facebook, you're going to see my new profile picture because those ones are not connected to cookies. I couldn't tell you what is and what's not and how it works and how it doesn't, besides what I've already just told you. So the idea here is, how do we reset some of these settings to be able to go in and see the stuff we're supposed to see? So I want to show you the overall way of doing it, like the kind of main way of doing it. But I've also noticed a trick recently that has helped me a little bit. So I'm in Chrome right now. Chrome is, generally speaking, the best browser to use. It is the one that works the best with a lot of tools, softwares. A lot of websites and websites work best with this browser. It's not the end all be all, but it is generally the kind of go-to. If you want to reset your cookies in Chrome, what you want to do is go up here in the upper left. And I know this is small, so you guys may need to, and unfortunately, because it's part of the computer, I can't really zoom in on that part. So maybe go back and watch the recording and just blow it up on the conference room screen. But I'm going to go up here and click Chrome. And you'll actually see right here, one of the options says clear browsing data. So I'm going to click on that and it's going to bring me to a screen right here. Now, because I clicked on clear browsing data, it's actually going to bring me right to this little bubble. If for whatever reason it doesn't, if you're just in the Chrome settings, you'll see it's over here under privacy and security with a little shield. And then under privacy and security, the top option is clear browsing data. So when I click on that, it's going to give me a bunch of things that I can do here. So this is really where you can clear any data. So if you've got autofill, right, where you've got, you can see here, they've got addresses or passwords and you're like, hey, we've got a new employee starting, or I just don't, like, these are all outdated. I don't know why it's still storing these. I could go here and remove all of that data. But the main one that we're looking at right here is cookies and other site data. Now you can see mine is from 1,087 sites. That's how many cookies I have stored on my browser right now. And I cleared my browser maybe 2 to 3 months ago, if not sooner than that. So that's how quickly these things can accumulate. Now, if I were to click clear data, all my cookies would be cleared and it would be great. Here's the problem with that, though, is that when you clear cookies from something, it signs you out of all of those things. So if I were to clear my cookies across all of my browser right now, it would sign me out of Moxie, Facebook, Desk, Gmail, LinkedIn, anything that I was logged into, I'd have to log back into. In theory, not like hugely problematic, but just a pain. It's a pain to have to go, all right, now I got to log back into here, and then you click on another link and you're like, crap, I forgot to log back into there. I mean, I've got how many Google Sheets up on this tab? I've got 12 or 13 Google Sheets up on this screen that you can't see. I don't want to go through and have to redo all of those screens. So that's the quickest, one of the quickest and like most foolproof ways to do it. If you do that, you clear cookies across the browser, it will reset a lot of the sites in the cache. If you haven't done that before, I think it's a very good thing to do. I would go in and I would do that. I would just prep for having to sign back into a few sites. However, the trick that I've learned recently is one of the big things for me, and this might be a little bit more of a higher level thing if you're in multiple Moxie accounts or have multiple sign-ins and stuff like that, Moxie specifically is very sticky. So if I'm in my Sunstar account right now, and if I want to switch users I'll just switch users to Carrie real quick. I can click around in here. I can go, great. I'm in Carrie's account now, got a lovely headshot there. I can go to my website. I'm just proxying as Carrie. Everything is normal. I'm in the Sunstar account. Life is good. And then I go, okay, so I think I'm done here and I need to log back into a different account. I need to log back into my, my Ohio account. So I'm going to sign out of Desk and I'm going to X out of it. But when I go back to mycbdesk.com, because because of the cookies and stuff, it automatically logs me back in. And I'm like, okay, well, that's kind of frustrating. So I can go back, I can sign out again and go, okay, I'm definitely signed out. Maybe I'll just click on sign in this time. It's going to sign me right back into that account. And now I'm in this super annoying loop of going in and out. Now, one thing you can always do, you can do an incognito browser. That's great. But when you come back and do it this time, you're going to have the same problem. Control Shift, we get to the same. Yes, Sharon, you exactly right. So here's the trick that I found out about a month ago that has helped me a lot. You can actually clear the cookies for one specific page that you're on without affecting the rest of your Chrome browser, which means that I can clear the cookies for Desk and then still have Facebook signed in, still have Gmail, everything like that. So here's what I'm going to do. Right now, and I like to do it double coverage just to be safe. But if I go up here, if I can, I don't know if it's going to let me zoom into that part. Again, yeah. So if I go up to the URL link where you see the website. So in the upper left right now, it literally says mycbdesk.com. And there's the little lock next to it, showing me that it's a secure site. If I click on the lock, there's actually a tab right here for cookies and site data. So I'm going to click on that. And it's going to give me a little warning like, hey, cookies and other sites, blah, 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 blah. Like, yeah, that's great. So I'm going to click on manage cookies. What you're going to see here are a list of the cookies that are active right now on this page. The big one up here being mycbdesk.com. All I'm going to do is put that one in the trash bin. And then this is just a user hint because I've been around the block on this. You'll see right down here, it says realg.octa. That is what remembers your sign in every time you do it. So I'm also going to trash that one. Now, the rest of these down here, you don't really have to worry about. You can delete the Facebook and Google ones, but that's going to ask you to sign back in, which kind of defeats the whole purpose. So what I look for when I do this one specifically is anything related to Moxie or anything related to Desk. So I've removed both of those cookies. I'm going to click done. And then just for safety, I'm going to go to sign out. And for super safety, I'm going to do it one more time. I'm going to go up to the lock, cookies and site data, and then I'm going to remove my CB Desk. Click done. So I'm going to exit that. I'm going to I like to just go clean. I'm going to go back to mycbdesk.com. And there we are. I'm back to the login screen. And now I can log into, we'll just do this one because it's already logged in there. Send my code real quick. You'll see one that I'm able to kind of log right back into Desk, which is great. But I want to show you another part of this as well. So I log back into Desk. I go, awesome. I'm in my different Desk account. I can do whatever I want here. Great. Let's go into Moxie. So I'm in Desk. I click on Moxie Works, and it brings up my profile from Florida with Carrie, which is, again, not what I want because the cookies are remembering that from the last time I was on Moxie that I want to go back to Carrie's account. And furthermore, if I try to switch back to my user here, oh, it's actually going to let me do it. Never mind. Normally it gives me an error that says cannot switch users. So I'm in my Florida one, but that's fine and dandy, but I want to be in my Michigan one. So I'm going to do the exact same thing. Instead of clearing all of my cookies and resetting everything, I'm going to go up to the little lock up here, go down to cookies and site data, manage cookies and site data, and I'm going to remove both of these, cbmoxie and mymoxie.cbmoxie. Lots of moxie. I delete those. I'm going to click done. I'm going to X out of that page, go back to MoxieWorks, and do it one. See, this is my point. I got to do it one more time sometimes because I just cleared my proxy as carry. If I go back one more time, do it one more time, this should work. Now, it feels redundant to do it twice. You are correct. It is redundant to do it twice. But the alternative, see, there we go. Now I'm in my Michigan account. The alternative is clearing your cookies for your entire browser every time you need to clear cookies and logging back into this and back into this and back into this. So although I had to do it a couple of times quick, it literally took less than 10 seconds. And I've cleared the cookies and reset them for what I want them to do. So I'm using Moxie and Desk as an example because it's the easiest one for me to use because I know that those are super sticky and I have trouble clearing those. But this happens across the board with a lot of sites. So like I said, our digital publications do this sometimes. The old coldwellbanker.com would do this. I haven't tested it on the new one, but it's worth knowing there. But I want you guys to know that not only can you clear the cookies for your entire browser, you also have the ability to clear it for one or two particular pages so that everything else stays stored and you're not signing out and relogging in. You're just focusing on that page or two. So last thing, I just want to show it one more time, but then I want to see if you guys have any questions. I know that I am doing this specifically on Chrome. It's very easy to find instructions on other browsers. For example, when I literally like Safari is almost the exact same steps, where if you're in Safari and you go up in the corner here, you go to Safari and then settings, and there is an area here for manage website data. You would clear the cookies right there again. It's the same sort of markers, just slightly different ways to get there. I don't know if with other browsers you can clear individual cookie pages. I haven't looked into that, or I haven't found anything for that, I should say. But with Chrome, you can. And just a reminder, you go up to the lock in the URL bar. I click the lock. I click on cookies and site data, say manage them, and I remove anything that has to do with that site. Click done. And then I X out of it. And when I click on it again, it's going to have the page I'm actually looking for, the most updated version of it. So I know that this is a little bit more of a technical BlueSync, but it has helped a lot for me in my workflow and our team's workflow to realize, oh, hey, this is how I can actually see what I need to see and makes things just smoother without deleting other data. So any questions on this process?
Judy, I have one. A lot of times they go to the three dots in Chrome versus the little lock button, and they do look vastly different. Which do you recommend?
It's a little unfortunate. Well, I guess fortunately, unfortunately, it's two routes to the same house. I personally prefer doing the are you talking about when you're doing them individually or just on the whole when you're clearing your cookies?
Like clearing cookies of all time, I just did it and I've never done the lock way that you've done it. And a lot of the agents and managers go by the three dots.
Well, that's
and then settings.
Yeah, the lock is something I've discovered, like I said, in the past month or two, like that's brand new to me. So that's part of what I wanted to share. If you go up to the corner and click Chrome and then what is this? It's Chrome and then settings, you're going to the exact same spot. So you can use the three dots and click settings, or you can go to Chrome and click settings. It's going to bring you to the same place. I don't really care which way an agent uses as long as they know how to do it. So I guess I don't think I have a specific answer because it brings you, I guess, actually, Kelly, just to let me show you guys what we're talking about so that makes a little more sense for you. Is that when you're
look a little different from the lock options.
Well, the lock option is very specifically for one page. So like for this page, I can clear cookies for this one. If I go over here to the three dots, is this what you're talking about over here? So if I click these three dots and I click settings, it's going to bring me to the Chrome settings, just like the other tab was. But from here, I have to go to settings and then go down to privacy and security and then click clear browsing data. Whereas if I'm just click on Chrome up here and click clear browsing data, it saves me a couple of clicks, but it ultimately brings you to the exact same spot. So there's not really a right or wrong way. It's just, there's a way to say, there's a shortcut and there's the standard way.
JD, as well as Control Shift Delete, right?
I believe so. I don't have not a desktop, a PC. So
Okay,
so Control Shift Delete for me.
we'll bring you to the same place. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Works for
yes.
me too.
Sorry.
It worked for me too. The Control Shift Delete. I didn't know that either.
So can you explain that a little bit more? So because I don't have any insight on that. So the Control Shift Delete, does that?
Oh, yeah.
What does that do?
When you're on an not HP, when you're on a Windows desktop versus a Mac, when you're in Chrome and you do CTR Control Shift Delete, it brings up the automatic clear browsing data window.
For
Just a shortcut
for everything,
for everything,
Yeah.
not just the
okay,
site.
right. So okay, perfect. Thank you, Sharon and Kelly. So that brings it. So now we have 3 ways to get to clearing data for the whole page or for the whole browser. Awesome. Whatever works is what's important. Any last minute question?
Can I add something, JD? And if
Absolutely.
you disagree, I am so open to it. But I like to prove that something is cookie and cache related to the person before we go ahead and do it. That way I can show them, because I am a prover, that it is cookie and cache related. So a lot of times, or 100% of the time with me at least, I go into incognito first.
Mhm.
I show them, hey, it works in incognito. That's why you need to clear your cookies and cache. So that's my go-to every time, is I prove to them it's cookie and cache related incognito, and then I go clear the cookies and cache.
I think that's perfect. I think the clearing cookies and cache is basically the web browser version of have you turned it off and on again. Like, it really is a simple fix and really does fix it the majority of the time. But oftentimes I've had that same thing where it's like, yes, I've done that. And I was like, have you though? And then when you do it, you're like, oh, okay, I didn't do that. Sorry. So I think that's a great way to show them, hey, it is updated correctly. You can see that here. Let me show you how to do this part so that you don't have to go into incognito every time. I think that's very, very helpful. But yeah, showing them it really, like I said, it really is the fix a large percentage of the time. So I like that. Show them the proof, show them, hey, this is why I'm going to do this. And then they will be wowed by your magic. Okay, any last questions, guys? I'm always open to them. You can reach out to myself or Carrie on this stuff. Excuse me, whenever. I just know that we're over, so I don't want to take up any of your precious time. Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys for your time. Again, remember when it's 5 o'clock later today in your actual time zone. Don't use the excuse of Tehran right now. And I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much, guys.